votes have been cast, the results are in, and are overwhelmingly, this truck should drive down the road again. There's a couple small things we need to address right away, and that is everything. Most importantly being all this moss. Tires, the door probably shouldn't fall off. As much as I love the way this disaster looks, fortunately the drive axle tires all hold air. Throttle and brakes are a slight concern. The biggest concern, however, is the steering box. This is seized up, so I have to figure out how to get that unseized. Oh yeah, also both of the front leaf springs are broken in half. So nothing short of a small miracle, a few dozen man hours and a couple $1 million won't fix. Let's see if we can get Truck Norris back on the road. Mingo just ate a frog. Let's see what flavor of yuck is inside of this thing. I'm so glad it's dripping on me. I always like to fill my steering boxes up with water too. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's rusty in there. I have a solution for that. Sometimes I wish I could think ahead. It'd have been nice if I'd have grabbed PB Blaster while I was in there. Somebody knew just enough to be dangerous. This is a bead weld. I'm pretty sure this is welded onto there. I don't remember if I showed it in the last video. That steering was locked up. Let's just verify that it's actually the steering box that's locked. When I turn the wheel in the cab, that's probably, I'm sure that's breaking it, something. What we use here is white vinegar. It will dissolve whatever rust is in there. We'll come back to that in 24 hours, and I'm betting that that steering box will turn. FridayParts.com, they sent me out this gift. I've worked with them for a couple of years, and I really have had great experience with them. If you guys need parts for your heavy equipment, trucks, etc., go check those guys out. FridayParts.com. Link, as always, will be down below. I've decided the only thing I'm gonna wear when I drive this truck is this hat. That truly is a horrifying thought. Well, I'm back out here on this balmy 24-degree day. Let's take a look at this pump. So this stuff actually froze, and I'm kind of surprised. I did not think this stuff would freeze. Let's see what kind of sewage comes out of this thing. Look at that! Uh-oh. We got steering! I can see myself driving down the road in this thing, pulling 120,000 pounds. Frozen up. I don't want to put too much strain on that steering box, turning it, you know, with flat tires and all the weight. I want to carefully remove that bumper. Yeah, I'm just noticing this ash tree must have come down in the storm. I'm so lucky that it landed there. It would have like messed up my whole cab. You know, there's a bunch of dead ash trees around here that I really need to take down in the spring, especially if they're going to cause problems like that. It's not showing any oil pressure on the dash, and I do not like that. Very carefully. I have an idea that's certain for success. Look at that. Green coolant down the bottom of that. Oh! Those are exciting noises. Just lovely weather. Those are really exciting noises. as often happens when it's 24 degrees out and the fuel in this thing is gelling up, it doesn't want to stay running. I broke this sledgehammer, not abusing it in any way, and it's almost impossible to find replacement sledgehammer handles. They want you to buy a whole new sledgehammer with a fiberglass handle, which is kind of sad. I'm glad to have that fixed. You know, a guy would think that's probably high enough. One thing I don't think I showed in the past is that leaf spring's broken. And, you know, in order to drive it, I have to figure out something DOT approved to fix that. I just need to lift this axle a little bit. Safety glasses for sure. Great. This is stupid. This is not working. I tried gunning these bolts off, these wheel lugs, and they didn't want to come off. So I bought this like Chinese torque multiplier thing. I think this is like a 1:64 ratio is what the thing says. I mean, and it's turning these things right out. I can see it. This is basically a gear reduction ratchet. Honestly, not a bad way to spend 80 bucks. I'll throw a link for this in the description. I could have had a tire company come out and swap these. They would have charged a minimum of 250 bucks just to show up. Just for kind of a cost analysis, I also paid like 60 bucks for those tires on rims. I got 4 of them at an auction. I think I paid 60 bucks for them. So total cost to do get front wheels and tires on this thing is like 140 bucks. The local tire shop, they would have charged like $250 minimum to show up. They would have taken one look at this thing and been like, ah! This is a Milwaukee 1/2-inch impact, and just to kind of show how powerful that gear reduction thing is, I'll show you that this just doesn't back them off. Doesn't budge them at all. I was trying to be nice about this. I'm just gonna heat this up until it's cherry flavored. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but that nut is glowing red hot. I do not understand how that's working.
Hello!
Buddy brought reinforcements. Damn turn. So these are reverse threaded, which is why they didn't come off. Wow.
Super old.
Probably if you talk to some old Kenworth guy, he'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're better that way.
Or you're just gonna dig out underneath it?
No. Alright.
Other way. Other way.
Oh yeah, right.
Whenever you get something that's reverse threaded, you're like, I can't.
Hold on. Other interesting sounds. Yeah, I mean that'll work. Safely in there. Alright, it's ready to drive almost. Battery's hooked up. Last time this thing ran was about a year ago. Let's crank it and make sure that it's still gonna turn over. Oh yeah, she's loving life. Oh baby, woo! She's gonna be off and running here in no time. Ooh, ooh, it's smoky. Idea why I'm so nervous. Like this is so exciting. Let's try to move it forward, I guess. Okay, that is unbelievably amazing. Dude, that is the coolest thing ever. This thing is sat for so long and it moves. One of the problems is I don't have a throttle, like this is all rusted. I also don't have any brakes, but the clutch and the steering work. I'm gonna go drive this thing down the road. Before I go drive it, I wanna make sure that the water pump is spinning so we're getting water flow through the block. The best way to test the integrity of an old chain is to drop the full force of the load on it in a split second. There's water up to the top though. Alright, I do have one leak in the radiator right there. It's that bottom plate where it goes on. These radiators are like a 3-piece radiator. They get clamped together here. My eyes are burning. The exhaust is blowing right into the cab. Okay.
Didn't this have a stack on it when you got it?
Yeah.
Hold on to this seat that's not attached to anything. Oh.
I wonder if we're running out of fuel. That smells a lot like... I don't know.
What?
Well, oh my gosh.
My eyes are burning so bad I flushed them out with bug spray.
I don't think... Oh, I left my door open. Oh, come on. My brand new truck. Seriously though, I don't think I've ever...
I hope we never have to do that again.
I don't think I've ever worked that hard to get something driving. And I definitely never needed two people to drive whatever it was I was driving. That all being said, this was a really fun and very challenging project. I'm glad I saw it through to the end. You guys came out in tremendous numbers. That last video got over 2 million views at this point, and everybody wanted to see it drive. So I hope that kind of answers the questions on this. The hood, the cab, you know, some of the wheels, there's tons of usable parts on this truck. The engine is a good running engine. There's tons of usable parts on this truck, and I would love to see this truck go to someone who's gonna take the parts and put them to good use. So this truck is gonna go up for sale. It will run and drive onto a lowboy trailer. So if anybody out there is interested, shoot me an email. I will mark it sold in the description after it is sold. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, that really helps the videos do well, and I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.